much was, why is Eze not starting? Why is he persisting with Martinelli? And okay, with the Martinelli thing, I kind of see where he was going with that, because
the defending thing.
Yeah, well, in the corresponding game last year, which I actually went to that game actually at Liverpool, Martinelli had one of his best games for Arsenal that season. He was really good. I think he scored. He's probably Arsenal's man of the match. As you said, Deluded, he's not just going forward, but he's a hard-working guy. He tracks back and helps defensively. So I could kind of understand if a player's performed very well against a team recently, then the manager's inclination will be to play him. But even so, I thought, okay, I can understand that one. But the Eze one, I was just crestfallen when I heard that, man. I'm like, so immediately when I saw the team sheet and I saw Mourinho there, my thinking is this man's playing safe. He's doing his risk-averse stuff again. He's, in essence, his main ambition is to not lose the game rather than to win it, which I was a little disappointed with. And then the way the game played out, I mean, the first half we did well. I thought we were the better side. But it soon transpired after a couple of minutes of the second half that Liverpool was starting to come back into it. We'd lost a bit of momentum. I was expecting him to make changes, and I could not believe that it was actually Arne Slot that made the first round of changes after 60 minutes. Arteta waited until the 70th minute when the game had pretty much turned around by that time to make the changes. And even though Eze came on late, you saw in that little brief cameo that he did how dangerous he could have been. You know what I mean? So I was disappointed, man. I mean, the free kick, okay, you could do nothing about that. That was a moment of brilliance. You know what I mean? Can't take that away from Szoboszlai. That's going to beat any keeper in the world. That would have beaten 2 keepers. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So yeah, but ultimately I was left feeling disappointed, man. I can't lie.
Is it a thing where, like, obviously, you know, is it a thing where we're disappointed because we do feel Liverpool is there for the taking? We have wanted to see just something new from Mikel Arteta, whether that was starting Eze or doing something different. Like, is that where our frustration comes with versus losing to Liverpool? Because when I watched the game, I think you said it there. I think for me, it's the second half, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, I think, you know what, maybe, well, when Saliba came off, I got a bit scared. Liverpool on top of us. Other than that, we took control. We weren't creating anything apart from Madueke. We were kind of on it. So I went into halftime thinking, do you know what? Out of all the times we've been to Liverpool, this looks like the one time we could kind of beat them. They look the most human, if that makes sense. And then you've alluded to it. It's like the changes, the proactiveness. I think Slot changed stuff with the players that are already on the field, and then obviously the subs. And I'm at that point now where I'm not against Mikel Arteta being risk averse, because it's got us to this point being defensively, but I'm of the belief now not taking risk is a risk. And I just feel it's a bit predictable. Like, I wanted him to gamble a bit. Like, fair enough. If it's 0-0, we go gun hole, they go down the other end and score, I'd still have things to say. But because of where we're at with Mikel Arteta, I personally would have said, you know what, it didn't work at Anfield. There might be a couple of times next season, in this season, sorry, where we try things and it works. So it's like, do you think we're getting a bit predictable? Because I look at Arne Slot's changes, whether it's getting Szoboszlai up, bringing on Curtis Jones, and I think, how much confidence does he have? Obviously in his own team and his own tactical nous, but knowing that I'm changing things, Arteta is going to stick to the script. Like, even with Dalman coming on with 10 minutes left, we've seen this before. That's where my frustration is, man. But what would...
Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, I was frustrated on so many levels. I was frustrated with the team sheet. I was frustrated with what I call the risk-averse approach. Like I said, we have a manager, and this is not the first time by any stretch of the imagination.
Exactly.
That he's made his substitutions late or too late. I mean, the 70th minute was actually an improvement on usual, because it's normally between 75 and 80. But even so, the momentum of the game had already shifted by that time. What you want your manager to be in those situations, dude, I'm sure you agree, is to be proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly.
So once you sense that you need an input of energy, once the momentum is starting to slip, that's when you make your changes. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to win a game. It's a little bit different if you're 2 or 3 goals to the good and you say, right, I'm going to make some changes to just close things up. Then, yeah, okay, fine. But if you're trying to win a game, this was a massive game. let's be honest, Liverpool in their previous 2 games, I saw both those games against Bournemouth and Newcastle, respectively. You could argue that they were fortunate in both of those games. When I say fortunate, I don't mean lucky, because they got the wins, they got the quality to get goals late and to score great goals, as we saw ourselves last week. But what I'm saying is that Bournemouth could easily have got a draw in that game. And likewise, Newcastle, who would, let's be honest, down to 10 men, push Liverpool right to the wire. So I'm thinking to myself, and correct me if I'm wrong, with our team, with that added impetus of signing, I mean, you saw the reception that Eze got the week before.
I'm with you. I can't lie. I'm disappointed.
And you saw the energy that brought to the, and the vibe that brought to Arsenal. You're going up against a very good Liverpool team, but a team that had not been, you know what I mean, they'd not been performing to their optimum levels. You know what I mean? They had a few players that have been underperforming, Wirtz, Salah, Kirkes, you know what I mean?
They all got a mesh in as well.
Yeah. So there was a time that was an opportunity for Arsenal to go there, make a statement, win the game, and announce ourselves to say, right, you know what I mean? We're here. We're going to win this title. We're serious contenders. But unfortunately, the way things worked out, it was like same old, same old. You've gone to another big 6 club. You've not beaten them at home, at their home ground. You know what I mean? It was just disappointing, man. Very
that's where the issues are, because it was disappointing. It's like you wanted us to make a statement. I know it's some section of Arsenal fans, 3 games in, it's all doom and gloom now. Likewise, if we would have won, they probably would have been singing from the rooftops. But I just wanted to simply go to Anfield, a ground that nobody likes to go to, a ground that we ain't won that forever, and just try something different. Just go for it. Like, there's no shame in Szoboszlai scoring that goal. You can't account for that. What you can account for is kind of what you alluded to, is the whole thing around the changes, and you could see the game was kind of getting running away from us, and Arteta wasn't proactive, man. I do want to ask you though. I have to ask you, like, do you feel Mikel Arteta maybe has too many options? Because obviously Trossard was on the bench, Wanyeri was on the bench, Eze was on the bench. There's little different things you could do tactically. Do you feel Arteta's gone from having like no options? Because let's be real, like for the vast majority of a couple seasons, the 11's picked itself and there's been like 2-3 on the bench. And now you've got so many options. Like, do you think he's got so many options that he can't hone in on one, and he's also fixated on how he wants to play? Like, could the depth also almost be an issue then?
That could possibly be true. However, that is why he's the manager. That's why he gets paid all that money. That's why you're there, to make those tough decisions. Now, in answer to your question directly, so if you got a team where you have 2 very plausible options for each position in the team, that's a great thing. You know what I mean? So
that's what we dreamed of having.
Expecting to be able to manage that. That is what comes with being an elite manager. That's what Slotter's done. That's what all the, Pep, Klopp, all the guys that win the Premier League, that is the situation in which they're faced. And I'm sure they would rather have it that way than the other way, when you don't have options, you know what I mean? So he has the options at his disposal. We have a very good team, you know what I mean? And to go there and lose, like I said, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It was only the 3rd game. The Premier League is not won after 3 matches. I fully...
30 games left.
Yeah, exactly. There's 35 games left in the season. So I'm not getting carried away. I'm not saying that we can't win the title. What I am saying, though, is that A, I'm disappointed, and B, I'm disappointed because I feel it was an opportunity lost. We should have come away from that game with at least a point, possibly even 3. And we've come away with nothing. We've come away with a defeat, which, let's be honest, I know it's just 1 defeat, but I think the psychological aspect to that defeat carries a bit more weight, if you know what I mean. If we'd have gone there and won, man, that would have been a huge shot in the arm of our title chances. The fact that we went there and lost, we're kind of on the back foot already. People are saying, oh, look, same old story, gone to Liverpool, the likes of Liverpool City, and that you can't win. You know what I'm saying? It just was a disappointing day, man.
So how do you feel about, obviously, like, I think you're spot on with everything everyone said, right? But then when you look at how Arsenal's or the game's being portrayed, like, do you really think like we set up mad negative not to win and Liverpool with this and that? Because if I look at it, the champions had to score a wonder kind of goal, and Liverpool hardly looked like the Liverpool they look like. Obviously, they got the 3 points. They're laughing because they got 9 points this season without being at their optimum. But I do think there's an element of people are acting like Arsenal were just under the cosh. We were just shutting up shop. Like both teams kind of stunk up the place. If I'm honest,
yeah.
like
You're
it was
right.
smelly.
Both teams kind of nullified each other because,
Exactly.
as we said, Liverpool so far this season anyway, they've not hit the straps, which is kind of understandable. I mean, they got a couple of players new in there as well. Verts, their big money signing.
Is that to
Curtis.
sign now?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but as you said earlier, Deluded, they've won. They have 9 points from 3 games and they've not anywhere near hit their straps yet. So that's encouraging for them. As I said, for us, it's disappointing because that was an opportunity to go there, you know what I mean? Stick our chests out, stick our flag in the sand and say, yeah, we're here, we're ready, we're coming. And we failed to do so. And like I said, you can point to the goal and say, oh, that was a goal that was worthy of winning any game. And yes, that is correct. But having said that, I don't think we gave it our best shot, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's interesting because my brother Steve, shout out to my brother Steve, not Robbie, Steve, he rang me up and he said, Laurie, I know you're into your boxing. He goes, I'm going to give you an analogy. I said, oh yeah, what's that? He said, Arsenal went to Liverpool and we didn't let our hands go, meaning that we didn't throw enough punches. You know what I mean? We tucked up,
doing the points thing,
tried to get a draw, and we've ended up getting beat. He said, you know what I mean? If you're going to go to Liverpool, you've got to try and win. You know what I mean? Not just try and avoid getting beaten. You've got to try and win. And that's the mindset that I had. And I'm sure you had as well.
I think every Arsenal fan echoes
Yeah,
that. So then that leads me to ask you then, like, why doesn't Arteta, I can't tell you a time I've seen the handbrake fully go down and we're fully on it. And I know the cons with doing that, but it just feels like I think we're a good defensive team. We do everything to defend well, but sometimes attack is the best form of defense. Like the best way to defend yourself sometimes as a boxer is to, like you said, to throw some hits. It feels like we don't ever do that kind of school of thought. Like, why do you think like Arteta doesn't do that? Is he still got PTSD from the first year? Is he? What is it for you? Because I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I hear you. I just think he's a naturally cautious, risk-averse person. That's how his management style. That is what it's screaming at me. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. He's a very good manager. Yeah, he is what I call. He's transitioned the club very well. See, when he came to the club, was it 2019, November 2019?
He's in a different.
We had a lot of issues. Yeah, we had a lot of issues, and he corrected a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So you have to give him credit for that. He won a trophy in his following season, the FA Cup. And he's taken us from, let's be honest, I wouldn't say we were a joke, but we had a lot of issues. Now we are a serious title contender.
We're in a different hemisphere now.
Yeah. So he must get full credit for that. He's turned the fortunes of the club around. The mentality that we had back then wasn't the best. We've definitely improved in that area. We're nearly there, but then therein lies the problem with a lot of people. We've been seen by many as a nearly team. And I think that's the problem he's going to have now, is to transform from a nearly team to a winning team. You know what I mean? I mean, he's won 1 trophy in 5 seasons, 5 and a bit seasons.
And he's better than that.
Yeah, and he spent a lot of money. Was it close to $1 billion now has been spent on players? So
not to mention this summer as well.
Exactly. There really is no excuses. There's no hiding places. He has to win a trophy this season, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of people, some of my colleagues at AFTV, they're saying it has to be either the league or the Champions League. I'm not going to be as binary as that, but he's got to win a trophy. So this season, man, it's all on the line.
Do you think it's a thing where, like, because I look at Slot and Liverpool, and obviously they've won the title before. Some of those players have won it under Slot. They're obviously there under Klopp, and they've got new signings, and we're going to see different things tactically. But I'm sure Liverpool fans, Slot's earned that right for them to fully believe in the team and fully believe in him. I think many people at Arsenal, they can see Arteta is a good manager. Question marks if obviously if you're a winning manager, and then there's the players. But I think our thing is a bit different, and kind of what we're indirectly talking about is like, we think we've got the tools. It's more of a question of if Arteta is going to be able to find that kind of like fight his demons and things. Like, do you think it's a case of like Arsenal fans fully believe in the team and like question marks over Arteta, or where would you be at with that? Because many people do think we've got the side. It's more on the gaffer now. Like,
yeah, I think I think we got the players, man, 100%. I mean, I don't know about you, Deluded, but I did a show on my channel and I was rating our transfer window, and I gave our transfer window a 9 out of 10. I don't know what you thought about that, but I thought it was a 9 out of 10
of incomings.
I thought it was an excellent transfer window. I mean, if you look at the areas, I mean, we've got a backup goalkeeper. We strengthened in defence with Mosquero and Hincapié. Mosquero, by the way, I thought looked really good.
Stood up tall at
when
Anfield.
He came on the other day. That was almost a seamless transition. When Saliba got injured and we was all, Mosquero coming, you didn't even realise that Saliba weren't playing until afterwards.
Exactly.
So shout out to him. He looks to be a really good signing. He also looked good in pre-season. So I was really made up to see him do well against Liverpool, because that shows me that, yes, he's a quality player. In midfield, Zubamendi and Norgard are coming. Zubamendi, I mean, okay, he's not hit his absolute best yet. But
drowned in the second half, but I like
him. Yeah. But I like him. And I do think that midfield has been upgraded with the signing of himself and Norgard. If we move further on through the team, we brought in Madueke, who, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people weren't sure about, to say the least, when he came in, but he's already showing that he's going to be an asset. I thought he had a pretty good game, actually.
Same. Probably our only threat, realistically.
Well, yeah, he was definitely the main threat in that game, until Eze came on anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
We signed a striker, which everybody at the club was saying we need a striker. We signed Gyökeres, a proven goal scorer. Okay, we're not getting the best out of him yet, because we've still got to learn how to play to his strengths, I believe. But I do think that he will be a 20-plus goal season striker. And we brought in Eze, you know what I mean? Who, for me, was probably the marquee signing that we made. I was so excited about that signing. So I guess what I'm saying is, man, the players are there now. We brought in 8 players. I'm not sure if I've even listed all of those in that little summary there.
But no, to be fair, it's difficult for an Arsenal fan to remember how many signings we've made.
Yeah, we brought in 8 players. We spent
8,
spent close to 255 million, which is the third highest. I mean, Liverpool spent the most. I think Chelsea spent second most, and then us. So I guess what I'm saying is the squad now is at a level where it's not been in many, many years. And when you think about it, we were second without this injection of cash. Now we've upgraded. Come on, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he has to win the title to keep his job, because let's be honest, Liverpool won the title last season at, if not a canter, they were comfortable winners. Exactly. They had it wrapped up with about 3 games to go, right?
If that way, you're even being kind, but yeah.
Yeah. So they've done that with their team last year, and now they've strengthened unbelievably, especially bringing in Isak at the last minute like that. So you would have to make them favourites, yeah? In a logical world, you would have to make Liverpool favourites. They won it comfortably last season.
They're the bookie.
They've strengthened beyond belief this season. So obviously you would have to make them favourites. So when people say to me, if Arteta doesn't win the title this year, he's got to go, I think that's a bit harsh. Because Liverpool, for me, are the logical favourites. That being said, though, football isn't just about the Premier League. You've got the Champions League, you've got the 2 domestic cups. So I would expect him to win something. It's about time, right?
The players need it. The fans need it. That goes without saying. But the players need it, because I must admit, if we don't win, it's mental fatigue now.
Everybody needs it.
Everyone needs it. He needs it as well.
The players need it. The manager needs it. The club need it. We're crying out for success, man.
Because we're that close. Like, fair enough, like you said, when Arteta first walked in and it's 2019 and we can't dream of it, fair play. But when you're beating Real Madrid, when you're finishing second, when for Mikel Arteta, when you've been in the quarterfinals and then the semis where you've only been a manager in the champs for 2 years, you're flirting with it. You're literally closer than you're closer to it than we ever was. And you say, for me as well, when it's all said and done, I go off what the manager's saying. I know there's an element of PR, but the man is saying you want to win trophies, and you're showing me elements to get towards that. And the players, it goes without saying. So it's like you're flirting with it. You need to get over the line. I do think if we only win like the League Cup or the FA Cup, people be disingenuous. Like, and what I mean by that is if you look in May, everyone was on this, a trophy's a trophy, Newcastle won it, you got to win. And I hear that, all of that makes sense. But if you fast forward a year, if we only win the FA Cup and the League Cup, it's not the majors. I think you're right in that, you know, people are a bit disingenuous in that. I understand we want to win a title. We need to get over the line. That will shut things up. But you can't say Liverpool are so good, and this is Arsenal fans, where they're so good, they're running away, we've got no chance, and then sack Donny if he can't win it. For me, it's not genuinely making sense.
No.
And that leads me to ask you, yeah, like, obviously, like, you would obviously love to win both the Prem and the Champs. And we don't know how it's going to run out. But, like, do you think we've got more of a chance of the Prem or the Champs?
You know what? That is a very good question. That is a very good question.
Because I don't know, man.
I wouldn't say one is easier to win or more winnable than the other. I think they're going to be both extremely difficult, man. You know what I mean? I do. I would take either one of those, obviously.